been learning a lot more about my nervous system and how my nervous system plays a big part of my life, and my journey has been a game changer. It has really transformed and changed my life. I know last week I did kind of talk a little bit about like what the nervous system is. I gave you tips, but today I am going to go deeper because I have really been studying my own body and really trying to understand how this nervous system works and what it really means and how important it is to the body. And so I'm going to continue the conversation this week around nervous system regulation and emotional well-being by taking a deeper look at what the nervous system actually does, how trauma impacts the body, and why so many people find themselves living in survival mode without even realizing it. Guys, I was that girl. I lived in survival mode for several years, and it's so easy to go back to survival mode if you're not watching yourself properly. And that's why this community is such an amazing community for us to really like check in with ourselves, create that safe space where we're all healing together, where there's no judgment whatsoever. Like, it's that community where we know that we've got a lot of work that we need to do, so let's do this work together. And what a lot of people don't realize about trauma as well is that trauma only people think that trauma only affects the mind, but guys, no. As I am learning about trauma and nervous system and so many things as a trauma informed coach, I'm realizing that trauma is not only just affects the mind, but trauma affects the body. It affects the body a lot more than it does with the mind, guys. Let me tell you, and the nervous system as well. So you've got the mind, you've got the body, and then you've got the nervous system. Of course, it does affect the mind, right? That is no brainer. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it does affect your body and the nervous system. So when we experience prolonged stress, emotional pain, difficult life experiences, unhealthy relationships, I have been that girl that have experienced several unhealthy relationships to the point where I had to walk away, find myself, and say enough is enough. I remember I walked away from an amazing person who I finally thought that they saw me. They saw who I really was, and I realized that I was working in another situationship, and I really had to choose myself and walk away from that experience. But it is a lot harder than it seems. So I understand if you're finding yourself going through the emotions of that. And yeah. And then also toxic environments or situationships where you do not feel safe. The nervous system adapts to help us survive. So we're gonna talk about that in a moment as well. But also, guys, what a lot of people don't understand is that the nervous system is responsible for constantly scanning our environment for safety and danger. It influences our thoughts. Your nervous system influences your thoughts. It influences your emotions, behaviors, and energy levels. Also, it influences sleep, digestion, concentration, relationships, and how we respond to stress. Like, as I am learning, I'm like, oh my gosh, what you mean to tell me that my nervous system influences my thoughts? You mean to tell me that my nervous system influences like my energy levels and my sleep? And guys, to be quite frank with you, it really does. That is the honest truth. So here I am, and teaching you guys because I am learning a lot. And for the last few days, I really have been focusing on my body and my nervous system. And I will say this to you guys: I'm not the coach that is going to come to you and tell you what a nervous system is, or what it does if I actually don't know what the nervous system is, or if I haven't actually learned what the nervous system does. And I'm actually learning how to regulate my body as we're talking right now, and I am loving every step and every moment. And I really want to come on here, guys, and give you the same experience, hopefully, so you can take your body seriously, and you can train your nervous system. But also, when the nervous system becomes overwhelmed, it can move into three main states. That is the fight, the flight, and where the body becomes activated, anxious, restlessness, and overwhelmed. Hyperprivilege, reactive, or constantly on alert. And freeze, where the body becomes overwhelmed and begins to shut down. This can look like emotional numbness, exhaustion, procrastination, low motivation, isolation, brain fog, or feeling stuck. Rest and digestion, the regulation state, where the body feels safe, calm, grounded, present, connected, and able to heal. One of the most important things to understand is that you don't consciously choose these states. Your nervous system chooses them based on what it believes is necessary for your survival. But also, I want to talk to you guys as well about unhealthy environments can also impact the nervous system. Constant conflict, criticism, stress, emotional instability, toxic relationships, burnout, financial pressure, or always feeling unsafe can keep the body stuck in a survival mode. And also, what a lot of people don't understand is that the people we spend time around can also affect our nervous system. We often observe the energies, emotions, stress, and behaviors of those around us. This is why emotionally safe in relationships, healthy boundaries, and supportive environments are so important for healing ourselves. But also, in this particular episode, guys, I want to share practical ways to begin regulating your nervous system. And but before we go into that, I want to tell you a little bit about what I have learned about my body so far this week when it comes to regulating my nervous system. Like, I have learned that when my body feels tired, I have learned not to force my body to do anything at all. But also, what I've learned about my nervous system and my body is that what I've learned is that it functions completely different to how it will function to somebody else. So what I want to teach you guys today is that, just because it works for other people, it doesn't mean that it is going to work for you. And that is slowly because of the way your nervous system is. Everybody's nervous system is completely different. How your body responds to sleep is completely different to how my body responds to sleep. How my body responds to toxic